I think today's video is going to be talking about how when we go through hard times, a lot of people on YouTube like to call them seasons, like seasons are of turmoil and bad times and things like that God puts us through to build us, teach us, correct us, things like that. I'm not sure if you know this or not, but on several videos I talk about how I've recently gone through a divorce I didn't want, um, and I'm now currently living in my minivan, sleeping at a truck stop. Unemployed, can't find work to save my life. The only thing I got is my meager retirement, and that's what I'm living now. And the divorce I didn't want. Um, I didn't. My ex-wife committed adultery 3 times, and she got a new job, high-paying job at that. New car. Well, it's used, but new to her, but it's still a really nice car. And she's living in the home we once shared, comfortably in her room, now her bedroom, and she's got her bedroom the way she wants it, and she's got her life the way she wants it. The kids are still there, so they're still around, and so she gets to see the kids all day, every day when she's not working, and you know, she's living the life that she wants to live now. And she broke the marriage vows 3 times and committed adultery 3 times, and I'm the one living in a van, barely scraping by. That's cool. That's what God sees fit to put me through. So okay. So clearly, I'm going through a challenging time or season, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. But sometimes during these times, even when we pray, even when we read the Bible, there's things that happen that make it worse. And I'm not going to get into every little detail of everything that's going wrong on my end, you know, because I don't want to sound like I'm whining. I'm not. But this is just very real. And sometimes what happens is you get hit with the emotional kicks in the teeth. My ex and I would watch shows from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. every night. We would stream watch, like Hulu, Netflix, that kind of thing. And I used to look so forward to that time. It was just specific time with her, just to sit together, watch these shows, have snacks like popcorn or something like that. And our cat would sleep at the foot of the bed while we were chilling, watching our shows. And that time meant a lot to me. I would look forward to it, all day. So here now in my van, every night at 9 p.m., I stream shows on my phone and have little snacks that if I can, usually they're buy one, get one at the grocery store, like chips and stuff like that. So I'll grab those because it's something. But I'll sit and watch shows. Now, I know a lot of people are like, oh, you're torturing yourself. Stop doing that. It's just reminding you of the better days and blah, blah, blah. I get that. And I totally understand that from a psychological standpoint. That's kind of stupid of me to do. And it's like I'm clinging on and almost in denial and things. I get that. I get all that, all right? I'm tracking that. But I like to do it because it just, I don't know. I just like doing it. It just, it kind of helps almost. But what doesn't help is when I'm watching a show and I get a constant reminder of, or I'm not a constant, but I get a reminder of things that used to happen in my marriage that I really truly cherished. Now, I don't mean to gross you out with what I'm going to tell you, but I have no choice. I got to tell this part of the story that's kind of a gross one. I was watching a show, and then there was an advert. And in this commercial was a young, good looking, in his 20s kind of guy. Just got out of the shower and noticed a big old zit, big old whitehead zit on his shoulder blade in the back. He somehow noticed it in the mirror and was like, oh man, because he couldn't reach it, he couldn't deal with it because he can't reach it, right? So he steps out in the living room where his girlfriend, girlfriend, I don't know what she was sitting watching TV. And this was a young 20-something, beautiful black woman. And he looks at her and he shows her the zit on her, just kind of shows it. They didn't speak. And she looks at it and then kind of motions him with her finger, hey, come here. And the next thing I know, the next scene they have is her popping it and squeezing it out. And you know why. I'm not trying to be gross here, but and he was wincing in pain. And I immediately got hit, and hit hard emotionally. Because my ex-wife used to do that for me. Routinely. She'd see it and go, oh man, you want me to deal with that? And I'm like, oh yeah, would you? And that's exactly what she would do. And yes, I would wince in pain because it hurts like crazy. And it was exactly what she used to do for me. That hit pretty hard. I'm not going to lie. And I thought, God, what are you doing? Why are you torturing me like this? Isn't it bad enough I'm in my van? Isn't it bad enough I'm barely scraping by? Isn't it bad enough I miss them every day, all day? You know, and now I get hit with this? What are you trying to do to me? You know? I don't know if God did that. I have no idea who did it. All I know is it happened. I got to see that. And it was a huge, huge reminder of the love she used to show me. Because, let me be honest, not very many women would do that for their men. Let's just be brutally honest here, shall we? All right? That's a sign of true love. And my ex used to do that for me. So I was kind of reeling from that. And just when I thought it couldn't get any worse, it did. That very same show, that was watching the one show, and that was an advert in that show, and then the show came out after the adverts, and I was still kind of reeling from the advert, but then it was a show about sunken ships, and these guys were wreck hunter divers, and they were talking about one cargo ship that sunk back in, I don't know what it was, 60s or who knows, whatever, and they were talking to the grown daughter of the captain of that ship that went down. Okay, this woman's in her 60s by now, and she was talking about her dad and her mom and how in love they were, and oh my God, and dad seemed to have a premonition and that it was going to happen, but she said, and it was right before their anniversary. And she says February 7th is their anniversary, so February 7th is a really hard day for me. And that hit me right in the chest, too, because February 7th is my ex and I's wedding anniversary. So that was 2 in one night. And I was like, seriously, God, are you trying to kill me? What are you trying to do? You trying to make me put my 45 under my throat and under my chin and blow my head off? Or what are you trying to do here? Because I'm not going to lie, several times I put my Glock under my chin, my finger on the trigger. I thought, what's the point? Only thing that stopped me was my kids. What I would do to my kids. You know, I didn't want to put them through that. I've seen suicides when I was military police. I've seen what it does to the families when they're notified. It's been that rough. But that night, that evening, this little season or whatever you want to call it was made tons worse by that advert, because I haven't seen that commercial since. I have not seen it. And that was a good couple of 2-3 days ago. I haven't seen it. You know? And then what were the odds that date would be mentioned on a show, and it was an anniversary date of a husband and wife who loved each other dearly but were separated by death. You know, I'm not going to blame God. I know I was pissed at him a little bit at first, like seriously, and it seemed like I was blaming, like, what are you trying to do, kill me? What do you want me to do, blow my skull open? What do you want me to do here? Because that's how bad it hurt. It was adding insult to injury. And sometimes that's what happens. All I could think of was her and the kids and how much I miss them. You know? So just be warned. If you're going through a rough patch, and, whatever, sometimes you're going to get hit with things that are going to make it worse. And it won't be a physical happenstance either, like your car blows up or something like that. It might be something emotional that hits you hard. I have never seen a commercial where a female is popping the zit of a male out of love. Never. And yet there it was. He was wincing in pain like I used to. She was gladly taking care of it like my ex used to. And I haven't seen that commercial since. And then the anniversary date. What were the odds? What were the odds? That was a very, very rough night, guys. So whatever you're going through, understand it could get worse. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It probably will get worse. Okay? I only sincerely hope that when this is over, and I have no idea when, and I have no idea how this is going to be over. I mean, I don't even know if I'll be alive. This could go on for the rest of my life. I'll be alone, miserable, and die alone. 20 years for 15, 10, 15, 20 years for, I don't know. And it's gonna be a rough road. I still think about it now and I still get hurt. I did not need those reminders. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that movie about Johnny Cash, and he was doing a performance in the prison. And the warden was saying, "Hey, I don't like the fact that you're reminding them that they're in prison." And Johnny Cash replied, "Would you think they forgot?" I mean, it's just, I don't need reminders of how bad I'm hurting. Or the good times I used to have with my ex. Or the way she used to show love to me. And now, I know she doesn't love me anymore. She's proven that 3 times in the marriage. But, I don't know. And it's tough because it seems like God is blessing the adulterer. Again, new high-paying job, new car, living the life she wants to live, and the home she and I used to share, right with the kids and the cat and the dog and everything else, and yada yada yada. And me, who didn't commit adultery, didn't beat her up, or didn't do any of that. I wasn't a drunk. I still am not a drunk. I wasn't a druggie. I'm living in the van. I'm not an innocent victim. I made mistakes in the marriage. Yes, I did. Absolutely, I did. But I always loved her. I always showed it every day by telling her I loved her and kissing her and this, that, and the other. But yet she still told me she felt unloved by me, and I'm like, how? How could I unlove you? How could you feel that when I kissed you, told you I loved you? What more do I need to do? But it seems like the adulterer is being blessed, and I'm being ignored because my prayers have still yet to be answered. But That's why I always say being a Christian sucks. It does. It's not an easy life. It's not. But being a Christian is what motivates a person to do the very best they can to stay right with God. Because I keep saying this and I'll always say it. I want, after God goes through the huge volume of my sins, that big old book he's going to put on the podium of all my sins, and are you ready for this? Oh boy, make it quick. But I want him to say, after all of that, but you know what? You did good, son. Come on in here. You're with me. And I get to spend eternity with you. That's all that matters. That's all that matters, guys. That's what being a Christian is all about, really, at the end of the day. Trying to be right with God to the point where he goes, yeah, you were a sinner. Oh boy, were you a sinner. But you know what? You stayed with me. You tried. You did your best. You did all you could to be right with me. And for that, you get to be with me for all of eternity. So come on in. That's what it is to be a Christian. Really, at the end of the day. I know all this, even if I'm out here till the day I die. I'm like, oh well, at least I stayed with God. Wasn't the best Christian on the planet. Wasn't perfect. I made mistakes. I sinned, yep. But at least I stayed true to God. Read the Bible every day. Prayed a lot. Even though my prayers are unanswered, I still kept praying. Because that's what the ultimate goal is, guys. Spending eternity with God and not in the lake of fire with Satan and his demons, because that's where they're going. When I was fighting for my marriage with prayer and everything else and doing all this kind of stuff, and I was kept saying, God, don't give the devil this victory, this battle victory. Don't give it to him. He's winning all these battles left and right. All this other nonsense going on. He's winning battle after battle after battle. He doesn't deserve to win this one. And the divorce was final. So the devil won that battle. Because as a former soldier, I know I'll lose battles, but I'll win some battles. But what really counts is who's going to win the war. And that's just it. The devil won the battle of my marriage ending. He won that battle. Okay. But realistically, he and his demons have already lost the war. We already know the results of the war. We learned that in Revelation. Read Revelation. Yeah, it's symbolic and blah, 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 confusing. But really, at the end of the day, the very last part of it tells you how it ends. And God wins. The devil loses. So that war has already been declared. God is the victor of that war. Of the whole war. The big war. The important war. Ask yourself, what side do I want to be on? The victorious side with God? And be with God for all eternity in the New Jerusalem? Or do I want to spend eternity in the lake of fire? With the devil and his minions. That's the good thing about us. The devil and demons always try to remind us of our past. That's fine. When they do that to us, let's remind them of their future. We can repent and be forgiven. They cannot. They're doomed. They're going to the lake of fire. Period. No ifs, ands about it. They're done. They're already. They know that. But we also know that too. Okay? So when I lost the battle of my marriage, I was sad, I was angry, but I found some solace in the fact that, yeah, but I'm on the winning team of the war. Okay. That's all that matters. Keep that in mind, folks, when you go through rough patches, when you know that you've lost a battle and the devil's won a battle. Always keep in mind, though, we stay with God, we stay true with God, and we stay on God's side. We have won the war. Because we already did. It says so in Scripture. Alright? That's all I got for now, y'all. Be blessed.